single day in just bearing witness to what other people are going through. I think every single one of us, every single day of our lives, maybe turns to the people we know, turns to our family members, to our kids or our siblings or our parents, and we're like, hey, I'm here for you. I see what you're going through, and I'm not going to abandon you in that. Here I am, you know? And it's simple, and it's these small little everyday things that on the micro seem like nothing. But I think when you zoom in and everybody's doing that in the same direction, things change forever, you know? I also wrote this song to remind myself of everything we have to be thankful for, that we benefit from every single day, that we sometimes forget about, once had to be worked for and protested for, you know? I don't know, depending on who you're talking to, protest can make people roll their eyes, it can be vilified sometimes, but it doesn't matter where you're coming from on the political spectrum. It's things that we enjoy every single day that once had to be fought for, had to be protested for, had to be worked for. To look forward to, Saturday and Sunday in the week. Days of rest. That's something that the labour movement had to work tirelessly for, to work for, to strike for. We take for granted that every single citizen should have the right to vote. That's not something that was the case within living memory, you know? We take for granted that women should have the right to vote. We take that for granted. It's something women had to fight for generations. And it's worth knowing, and it's worth remembering that it's within living memory that women couldn't open a bank account without a male guardian signature. That's within living memory, so a couple decades ago, you know. We take for granted the members of the LGBTQ+ community should feel safe and secure in our society, enjoy the same rights as us, and that's something that took not only protests but also people just bearing witness to another person's experience, you know, and saying, you know what, your experience might be different from mine, but I would want you to feel as welcome in this society as I do, you know what I mean? It's pretty simple. And as I said, I recorded this with Mavis Staples. I'm from Ireland originally, I'm an Irishman. I don't know if there's anybody here from Ireland, but Irish family, Irish heritage in the house. Mavis Staples used to sing before speeches during the American Civil Rights Movement here, right, in the 1960s. Herself and her family, the Staples Singers. And why that was of some interest to me as an Irishman is that that civil rights movement that happened here in the 1960s directly inspired the civil rights movement in Northern Ireland that happened so shortly afterwards, within a year of it. And that was at a time and place in Northern Ireland where not every single citizen was guaranteed the right to vote. It wasn't the case, you know? And it took a lot of work and it took a lot of protest. And we've been singing this in solidarity with anybody who would access that same witness, that same empathy, that same compassion for other people on the other side of the world and reach out to their representatives and say, you know what, no human being should be subject to the kind of violence we're seeing on our TV screens over in Gaza. And it's simple. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're a Palestinian citizen or an Israeli citizen, no human being should be subject to that kind of violence. If you feel that way and you want to reach out to your representatives and ask them to meaningfully support a ceasefire, I so encourage you to do so. So urge you to do so. I come from Ireland, as I said, which has hundreds of years, centuries of occupation and occupational violence, sectarian violence in Ireland. And the peace process that came about in the 1990s, which meant that I grew up on a peaceful island, something that I'm at risk to take for granted. That had huge involvement from the US administration, huge involvement from US citizens at the time, huge involvement from the international community. So I'm coming from that place. It makes a difference. If you feel moved to reach out to your representatives and tell them where your heart is on it, I so strongly encourage you to do so. Sincerely. If you would want to see peace and safety and security for everybody in that region. Irish people sometimes see what's going on now through the lens of their own history, you know, and it's devastating. And if you would want to see peace and safety and security for everybody in that region, that would of course mean seeing a Palestine that's free from occupation and free from occupational violence and free to pursue meaningful self-determination and statehood. And I just want to thank you for letting me speak from the heart for a moment, Tucson. I want to thank you for the incredible welcome that we've received this evening, and thank you for letting me witness witness the kind of everyday goodwill, solidarity, kindness that I experience in here in Arizona and Tucson. In a crowd like this, people coming together in goodwill just to enjoy each other's company and looking out for each other, you know. And these things are powerful, you know, so thank you so much. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It is the grounding of a foot uncompromising. It's not foreboding of a light. It's not the opening of eyes. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the shade we should be casting. It's the light and it's the obstacle that casts it. It's the heat that drives the light. It's the fire that ignites. It's not the waking, it's the rise.